Hey there, Angry Spork with Rescue Op, the 6th episode of Young Justice Season 3. We begin with this guy in, I forget where, some foreign country. He stumbles out of this bar, out of this club rather, and he's playing the VR headset that we've seen several times, and he bumps into Black Spider, who, after a whimsical introduction, says he's gonna kill him on behalf of the League of Shadows, I believe. And just as the guy thinks he's escaped, he gets crushed by a huge boulder, and Black Spider attributes it to someone far away in the shadows with a particularly feminine physique. I think we can make the connection there. Anyway, Barbara is also playing with the VR headset when Grayson shows up, and she flips him over her wheelchair, and that's just hilarious. And they kiss, so clearly they're in a relationship, and but they're interrupted by some manner of alert. We jump to Happy Harbor, where Halo feels hungry, like she hasn't felt hungry before, but I guess it's because Artemis keeps her well fed. So Brion just picks an apple and gives it to her. And that's when they're introduced to Forager. And I guess his people's language is very complicated, so they don't use pronouns. Strangely enough, Halo seems very knowledgeable when it comes to New Genesis. Just out of the blue. And given how much of her is a mystery and, what she's keeping quiet, that gives you another moment to pause what's up with this young woman. Brion is kind of giddy at meeting a real alien, but he does sympathize with Forager for being an exile, since he is one too. Miss Martian then shows them Bioship, which turns out to be the SUV that she had, that was in the credits a few episodes back. And it morphs into an RV that's big enough for Brion and Forager to live in. And while they're in the RV kind of checking things out, there is this funny moment of Forager knowing that Ship is female. Like, is Ship's gender not obvious? Jefferson Pierce uses his phone so that Jace can tell Brion that Tara may be alive, but taken somewhere else by Baron Bedlam, his evil uncle. Nightwing says that, he informs them about the guy's death at the beginning of the episode, linking it to the League of Shadows, possibly Tara, since, being Brion's brother, she might have similar Geo-Force powers. Woo! The name. But it could very well be mind-controlled, much like Plasmus. The Plasmus twins, I suppose. After the, three have a moment alone, Brion calls Jace back when Grayson and the others are out of earshot, saying that he's going to go after Tara, and, basically lies, saying that he managed to change Nightwing's mind and all the other, senior members' minds, and will need Jace on call in the event of necessary medical care. So Halo and Forager decide to join them using Super Cycle, because Forager decides, you two, we're a hive. You're my hive now. And Halo, well, there's a pretty good indicator that she and Brion seem to be interested in one another. But of course, she also just wants to help. So it's more than just lovey-dovey. So in the house, Oracle is informing Grayson about Halo's identity, which he passes on to the others as if he did it all himself. So you kind of wonder what's going on here, because no one else seems to know about Oracle. So anyway, Halo is actually a Karaki refugee that worked in the Markovian royal palace, and they go to tell her about this, and tell her what her real name is, but but the kids are gone. So they have already reached Infinity Island, which they've traced the League of Shadows to, and Grayson didn't want them going after them because they're led by Ra's al Ghul, and he's a pretty bad mamma jamma. But, of course they didn't listen. They head to a palace, but it's awfully quiet for an assassin's haven. So Halo's getting all giddy about being on a mission, and she wants her code name to be Halo, and, like on the field, and she wants to be called Violet because because that's what Brion called her while she was healing. He noticed the violet in her aura, and, obviously, it's something special to her. But they come upon this guy that looks like an evil version of Iroh from the Avatar, The Last Airbender. And this is a guy known only as Sensei. And, he recognizes the prince and just agitates him into a fight. While Connor, Nightwing, Megan, and Black Lightning are en route in ship, there's a fun callback to how Grayson infiltrated Cadmus against orders, and now these kids are doing the exact same thing. And getting into about as much trouble because Brion demands to know where his sister is, but the old man just doesn't answer. He just counters every attack he gets, and until he gets Halo in a headlock. She's about to attack, but he just Man of Steels her. Crack. And that just ticks Brion off even more. Sensei summons two other warriors, one of whom might be Ubu, the other we don't really see who it is. And they manage to subdue Forager, Ship, and Brion, and they leave them all in a cell with Halo's body. But again, she regenerates, so she's fine shortly thereafter. There is kind of an inconsistency with how long it takes her to regenerate. She gets her face burned off. She heals up in mere moments. It could be based on severity of her injury. So if it's fatal, it might take her several minutes, like 10 minutes or something like that. If it's mostly like damaged flesh or something, or a non-lethal bullet wound or something, it could be like done. Just a couple of minutes, that's all she needs. Whatever the case is, her regeneration is very intriguing to Ra's al Ghul, watching them from a security camera, and then the team arrives to free them. They head outside where they see Sensei and his cronies, and a fight ensues until Ra's calls time out. Brion again demands to know where Tara is, but Ra's says that the League of Shadows aren't here anymore. He's not even part of the lights anymore. So someone else is leading the League. After they leave, we see Talia with a baby, so that's obviously Damien. So they're clearly not trying to, perfectly tie this into the DC animated films, because Damien's already like 11 years old and fighting in a suit as Robin in those more connected films. And the hooded guy pulls down his hood. We see he has black hair, and he says, "Great son." And Ra's al Ghul says, "Oh, your memory is returning." So, pretty clear indication that that's Jason Todd. Maybe this show will do a better job of him than some of the comics have in the last several years. I've never really gotten the appeal of the character. Or at the very least, I don't understand why everyone is so jazzed. Oh, he's one of Batman's kids, and everyone should love him, and they should treat him like a brother. No, they shouldn't, because he's a murderer. He was a murderer for years. He defied Batman's teachings, and everyone was just okay with it, and so now I guess he doesn't kill anymore in the comics. But again, just like with the orphan thing and Rebirth, it's like, that stuff doesn't go away. Okay, there's a limit to how many Okay, It's probably a rant for another day, but Jason friggin' Todd. So, Brion, Forager, and Halo each, they get a scolding, and they say that they don't want to join the team, so Nightwing decides he'll make it work somehow with just them and Ship, because again, Ship's part of the Hive. Tigress tells Halo what her real name is. She flashes back to an uppity custom agent and a citizen who treats her like trash, and she says, "No, my name is Violet." And then we close with the credits over Ship in RV mode. So we got a little bit more mystery with Halo. She is definitely holding something back, but you get a little bit of, you kind of understand that maybe she wants to leave her old life behind because she's been more accepted with these superheroes than she... granted, those were only 2 instances that we saw, but, there could be more instances. Maybe other people in the palace didn't treat her very respectfully. Maybe the king and queen of Markovia were great with her, but, other servants, other, people just weren't that nice. Forager is a delight. A lot of shows, they'll have this character that's, the just like Starfire in the 2000s Teen Titans show, or Balki Bartakamus, or if you're an Ed and Eddie fan, there's Rolf, there's the funny foreigner, and he was just so delightful in this episode, bonding with the other 2. Obviously, they're setting some things up to be revealed later. I don't think we're going to get Damian unless the show wants to do a 10-year jump, and I would not advise that. Another good episode. The show's been pretty consistently well done, and I definitely look forward to watching more. See you next time.